Hey YouTube, this is Nordic Brit, and today I basically wanted to release a video about the new privacy policies from WhatsApp. There was a post, I'm going to link it in the description below, about new policies coming in for the app and about how they're going to look at your conversations, what's encrypted, what isn't, and really it's really desperate attempt to try to make what they've done in the past look good. But there's a really important note here. Facebook owns WhatsApp. So if you've been reading, or if you've been living under a rock for the past few days, few weeks, you would have known nothing about what's been happening in Australia. And some other countries are also looking at Australia. And what Australia is doing is passing a law regarding news and sharing news on Facebook, as well as some other platforms tied to Google. But basically, what this means is that you can look at how Facebook responded to this. Now, it doesn't matter where you sit with regards to the whole Australian law thing. WhatsApp is owned by Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg runs Facebook, and Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg's response to the law in Australia just goes to show you how much how much disdain they have for public forum, for conversation, for reconciliation, for discussion about how things should look moving forward. Instead, they behave like bullies. Now, just for the record, the law in Australia is pretty mental. It doesn't really fit in with the times. News companies need to adapt and change. So I don't think the law is a very good idea. However, obviously, the kind of control of social media does need to be looked at with regards to responsibility and other issues, but that's a whole nother video in itself. But here's the thing. WhatsApp has released this new policy, kind of clarifying what they do. So it's actually not really a new policy. It's just basically saying, hey, look, this is actually what we do, and trying to make it simple for us to understand. But here's a simple thing for them to understand. Until they're not owned by Facebook or some other group like that, or Mark Zuckerberg, for example, who as of late has become very, very combative and very kind of controversial in the way that he handles stuff. He's clearly not fit to handle these types of things. He kind of strikes out like a child sometimes, and it really does show that he hates public forum. He hates conversation, and you can see that now with how he responded to Australia, and it's really, really impossible to defend that response because even Google, and out of all the companies, you would not imagine Google to be in the good seat here, but they are in comparison to Facebook, which is saying a lot. So do not believe the hyperbole and crap coming out of WhatsApp. There are other services out there. There are loads. There will be more coming. You don't need to use it. Just use something else. Use Signal. If you really care about privacy, you would use something like Signal. If you just want to stick it to WhatsApp, there are hundreds of other apps that you could use. And it doesn't matter that 200 million use it, or 1 billion use it, or just 100,000 use it. If you and your friends use it and your family, then it doesn't matter. You don't need any more than that. That's kind of the whole point in messaging apps anyway. So basically just don't believe the stuff coming out of WhatsApp. They can say that they'll try to be better in future, but the past actions show, and this is the result. And you don't know what will happen in future with the decisions coming from Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and the people around that, how that's going to affect you there. You cannot trust them. And even from an ethical standpoint, you cannot defend them either. So just a quick note for you guys, just keep an eye on that. If you still want to use WhatsApp, it's fine. I have some family and friends who use WhatsApp, and getting them to switch to Signal will be difficult. But it's something to consider anyway. Try to just not rely on it too much, and consider that it doesn't necessarily mean that Facebook is a bad platform, or even WhatsApp is a bad platform, but the people who run it are not good for what would be considered social, transparent, public democracy, having conversations with each other. They don't like that, and that's a problem. Well, anyway, I hope this was just a informative help for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Nordic Brit, out.